Wild Talents, by Charles Hoyfort, Chapter 32F. Here, too, just what I suspect, though don't have it that I think him the only one who has had this idea, was just what was not asserted. That his motor moved responsively to a wizardry of his own, was just what Keely never said. It could be that it was a motivation of his own, but that he did not know it. Mesmer, in his earlier phases, believed that he wrought cures with magnets, and he elaborated very terminological theories in terms of magnets, until he either conceived, or admitted, that his effects were wrought by his own magic. I should like to have an opinion upon fuel-less engines, from an official of General Motors, to compare with what the doctors of Vienna and Paris thought of Mesmer. For 8 years there was faith. But then December 1882, there was a meeting of disappointed stockholders of the Keely Motor Company. In the midst of protests and accusations, Keely announced that, though he would not publicly divulge a secret of his motor, he would tell everything to any representative of the dissatisfied ones. A stockholder named Bokel was agreed upon. Bokel's report was that it would be improper to describe the principle of the mechanism, but that Mr. Keely had discovered all that he had claimed. There is no way of inquiring into how Mr. Bokel was convinced. Considering the billions of human beings who have been convinced, by bombardments of words and phrases beyond their comprehension, I think that Mr. Bokel was reduced to a state of mental helplessness by flows of the hydropneumatic pulsating vacuum terminology, and that faithfully he kept his promise not to explain, because he had not more than the slightest comprehension of what it was that had convinced him. But I do not think that any character of Mr. Keely's general abilities has ever practiced successfully without the aid of religion. Be good for a little while, and you shall have everlasting reward. Keely was religious in preaching his doctrine of goodness. Benefits to mankind, releases from enslavement, spare time for the cultivation of the best that is in everybody, promised by his motor, and in 6 months the stock will be quoted at several times its present value. I haven't a notion that John Worrell Keely, with a need for business, and a thread for suffering humanity, was any less sincere than was General Booth, for instance.